This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 5:34 on September 27th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Well, happy Friday. It's almost the weekend. Kelly, I know that there's a lot of festivals going on this weekend, so let's go to Kelly McShane for a weather forecast. What are those people out in the festivals going to see this weekend?
I know we have a lot of festivals. I know the Chicken Festival in London, the Mountain Heritage Festival in Whitesburg. There's plenty going on this weekend, and you're going to want to keep tabs on the forecast because we are looking at temperatures very, very hot once again, unfortunately. But starting off this morning, we're looking at temperatures in the low to mid 50s for some. Ashland at 52 this morning. Moorhead a little bit warmer at 59. Heading towards Jackson and Hazard, we're looking at temperatures into the mid 60s. So overall, a little bit of a warm start for some, but a lot of folks may need a light jacket as you head out for your Friday morning. Over into Whitesburg, we're looking at a little bit of fog this morning, so be very careful. But overall, a quiet morning on your Friday, but we are dealing with a little bit of fog out there. Here's a better look at that visibility map. So you did see a little bit of fog over into Letcher County. We're looking at about 5 miles of visibility in Harlan, 0 miles in Williamsburg, and reduced visibility into Somerset, Monticello as well. So especially into the Cumberland Valley is where we're seeing that most dense fog, and we also do have a dense fog advisory that is in effect until 9 a.m. later on this morning. So about 3.5 more hours for that dense fog advisory, mainly for the Hal Rogers Parkway and south, including our friends into Tennessee. So overall, that's what we're dealing with this morning, and we will be dealing with very warm temperatures as well. I'll have details here in just a little bit.
Thank you, Kelly. We are getting a new look at Kentucky's unemployment numbers. The State Center for Statistics reports that 75 counties saw an increase in unemployment in August. Harlan County now has the highest unemployment rate at 13%. Woodford County had the lowest rate at 3%. And after a 2-month saga, Black Jewel miners packed up their protest camp. Black Jewel miners stepped on the railroad tracks on July 29th. They say they would stay until they were paid. Then the miners started new jobs, went back to school, and were too busy to come to the tracks. And 8.5 weeks later, only one miner and his wife stayed around the clock. Chris and Stacy Rowe decided they could not do this on their own, and Rowe was offered a new job.
I hate all this happened, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise because we got the opportunity we did for him to go on the road and drive, and we'll be with him all the time.
Black Jewel is still in negotiations with the Department of Labor over the coal that is on the railroad tracks. And yesterday, Hazard City officials posted a picture of a building they demolished on Facebook. Here's a look at the debris, and officials said in the post it is a move to make the city safer by removing an unstable and unsafe building. Earlier this year, they started enforcing an ordinance on unsafe buildings. Some were condemned and officials vowed to remove them. People in Leslie County are worried some historic parts of the county may be moved. This after a screenshot of Frontier Nursing's minutes went around on social media the last few days. Frontier Nursing was founded in the county back in 1939. They have historic properties, but they have started moving their nursing school to Versailles and potentially taking the historic landmarks with it.
Frontier Nursing is a dominant name in Leslie County. Founded in the county in 1939 by Mary Breckenridge, it was the primary health care provider for decades until becoming a nursing school. In 2017, Frontier Nursing purchased a campus in Versailles.
We've known they've been moving for a while, taking their student activities to Versailles.
Slowly, the school is moving their university from Hyden to Versailles. Locals believe it will cost jobs here, but that's not all they are worried about.
But talk has really increased lately about trying to take the stained glass window and the Nightingale brick from the chapel.
There's been talks of moving a famous stained glass window and brick on the campus as well.
And yesterday, some documents were released online that show that they're talking about actually moving the entire Wendover facility.
The Wendover facility was where Breckenridge lived, and it's a historic landmark in the county.
But then to hear that they're going to try to take the local landmarks with them just really infuriated me.
The company released a statement in part saying, quote, "At a recent Frontier Nursing University Board of Directors meeting, the sustainability of Wendover was discussed. The goal is to keep Wendover financially solvent for many years to come. Relocating the big house was one of the many ideas proposed during a brainstorming session. Upon further exploration, we realized that we could not envision a plan where we would move Wendover. Moving our campus to Versailles was a difficult and emotional decision for our board and leadership. We recognize that this decision has an impact on the Hayden and surrounding communities." In the statement, they did not mention the glass window or brick.
That was WYMT's Connor James, and right now it is unclear what sort of impact Frontier Nursing moving to Versailles will have on Leslie County in the coming years. And one Eastern Kentucky woman says she's the victim of mistaken identity. Kim Bryant says she was arrested and taken to jail after being pulled over for speeding in Madison County. Deputies say when they ran Bryant's name, an arrest warrant came up in McCracken County from 20 years ago. Officials in McCracken County say the mix-up is possibly a case of identity theft.
Somehow or another, my social was connected to this other Kim Bryant. I wasn't the person that did this, and they wouldn't listen to me. They just threw me in there.
Bryant was taken to jail Wednesday afternoon, and she had to wait until yesterday morning for a judge in Paducah to sign off on the mistake and release her from jail. The search is on for the people responsible for vandalizing a Kentucky church. Here's a look at the damage at Mammoth Cave Baptist Church, and as you can see, someone spray painted 3 6s and an I Heart Satan on the side with orange spray paint. Park officials say repairs will likely cost between $10,000 and $15,000. And one Perry County man will spend 8 years in jail for shooting a woman last year. Dustin Howard pleaded guilty to assault earlier this year. He shot and injured Risa Noble last October, and the Commonwealth's attorney says Howard also pleaded guilty to identity theft and tampering with a leg bracelet. And sheriff's deputies tell us there was a stabbing in Martin County last night. Martin County Sheriff John Kirk says 2 men were stabbed in the Inez area. The extent of their injuries is unknown at this time, and no arrests have been made. This is a developing story, and we will keep you updated over on our website at WYMT.com. And caught red-handed, 4 people face charges following stealing hemp from a Daviess County farm. Investigators say security cameras caught James Kyle, Christopher Hoggard, Kashawn Kennedy, and Raven Luckett cutting the crop. An alert on the farmer's phone linked to the cameras actually notified him of the theft. Police say they think the group arrested might have thought the hemp was actually marijuana. And police in Louisville identified the man believed to have kissed one of our sister station's reporters during a live shot. Wave TV News reporter Sarah Rivest tweeted yesterday that police charge Eric Goodman with harassment with physical contact. Louisville police say Goodman was cited. Rivest said she felt uncomfortable and powerless when the unwanted encounter occurred last week in Louisville. She said Goodman wrote her an apology, which she read on air. And a big name is coming to Kroger Field, but we won't know who for several days. It's a well-kept secret, but here's what we do know. For the first time ever, a concert is being held inside the stadium at Kroger Field. UK made the announcement yesterday morning, and they are partnering with Live Nation for the event, which is happening pretty soon. It's scheduled in early October, but we won't know who's performing until next Tuesday. We are told the headliner is going to be there for the announcement.
But I think it'd be an awesome event. There's 70,000+ seats in there, and I mean, they could definitely sell it out with the student body.
We will have the answers to all those burning questions next week. And a Kentucky-born astronaut spends 150 days in space and after coming back to Earth decided to talk about his experiences through a satellite feed. Randy Brisneck spent more than 150 days on the International Space Station and on a space shuttle mission. He says in his time in space, he was always looking back at Earth and wondering if they were heading over his old Kentucky home.
I certainly flew over it many times, and what I found out quickly, it was really hard to find exact things when you're inside of a landmass. Stuff along the coast is really easy because there's defined features. So there's certainly times I flew over wondering, hey, is that Louisville? You know, is that Ireland Army Hospital there at Fort Knox where I was born? That was certainly one of the things I wondered when we went over.
Brisnick says excited about getting others back to space with the Artemis program, hoping to get astronauts to the moon by 2024 and set the stage for trips to Mars. And next year's Super Bowl halftime show will feature two of the biggest names in entertainment right now. We'll tell you more.
Well, we got a couple tastes of fall this week, but we're going to head right back into a summer-like pattern. I'll have those details here coming up next.